Hello, people. My name is Detroit Miracle. Yes, and indeed. Right now, I am here to have another cool Star Wars discussion. I find that many of them were cool that I had, and I don't see it as being anything other than cool regarding Star Wars. Like it or love it. So here I'm here to talk about that ending closing fight scene that Luke Skywalker had between all of those destructive battle droids in the Mandalorian series. I believe it was season 2 at the end, and Luke made an iconic exit, and then suddenly we seen a hooded figure with a green lightsaber fighting off wave after wave of super battle droids. When I say super, I mean these battle droids could repel laser, blaster fires, many types of other impacts. Even the Mandalorians that were fighting against them couldn't contain those, so they were held up in some kind of sealed room, and they were trying to make their way in there. So these battle droids were something major. Just say if you figure the strength of Darth Vader's prosthetics that is, they had to at least had Darth Vader's strength as far as in prosthetics. But these droids were even more enhanced with those. I think they had pressurized hydraulic lifts so that they can become like lift, even do any even stronger things like lift heavier objects. So they might have been infused with something else. They weren't just prosthetic limbed. They were actually robotic and fortified with an indestructible type of metal. But later we would find that those battle droids weren't as indestructible as we thought, because in a scene it showed Luke Skywalker, none other, mowing through wave after wave of battle droids. He was destroying them, striking them down with his lightsaber, using the force to crush them. He was killing them in the most inventive ways, and it seemed casual. And the shock about that was Luke could do that without even tapping into the dark side of the Force. Remember, remember in Rogue One when Darth Vader walked down that hall shaft where those rebel troops were waiting? Then Vader mowed them down just like that. A lot of people were comparing that incident to the Luke Skywalker fighting the battle droids. But in fact, Luke had much of a more difficult time than Vader did, because those troops weren't even a 1% as strong as those battle droids or android things that they had in there that Moff Gideon created. So they had a fraction of those people's, or the people had a fraction of their strength in which faced Darth Vader. So when they faced Luke, they had the total strength, and he had to handle all of them. He fought off an army or a full battalion of battle android troopers that were superfied by making them with an even indestructible, tougher metal. Yep, they said the metal wasn't impervious, but it was one of the most toughest metals that you can apply. And Luke mowed them down one by one, wave after wave. He crushed some of them. He used the force to drop things on them. And Luke doesn't need the dark side, apparently. He uses the force. So in that film, when then it wasn't over. Then he had to go up an elevator. Then there was troops up there waiting for them, and he had to handle them to get to the end, to make it to the door. Then Luke went in there, and he casually put his lightsaber back on his waistband, took off the hood, and had like a sort of smile. Like it had a confident, comfortable smile, but it was like a peaceful smile. Luke did all that destructive stuff while being tapped into the force and not any angry, aggressive emotion of the dark side. So that shows the power levels. Like Luke can be that powerful, much like Vader, but Luke doesn't have to tap into the dark side to obtain those powers, for they are already with him, as the Force is. Yeah, so I found that scene cool. I found that whole scene in The Mandalorian to be astounding. And Disney could have followed up with that by making a Luke Skywalker series. That would have been perfect timing to do that. And I'm sure like they can write many adventures that Skywalker had and faced during these new struggling times of troubles in which the New Republic is trying to rebuild the galaxy back up under that flag, but the Empire spread so much corruption that it's taking time, and it might take even longer than they thought. And then even when they do it, the First Order comes back later on. So it's like, go figure, like hands wave. Yeah, well, folks, let me know what you think, and I appreciate you hanging out with me, so please give me those likes, comments, and subscribe to me, Detroit Miracle. Yep.